Hi, I'm Leslie Nace and I'm your host for a brief look at shamanic healing. Learning to be a shaman is a way of looking at the world. It's not just one class or several classes in which you would end up with the title of shaman. In fact, practicing shamanism or shamanic healing, as I do, is a lifetime process. Connecting to the natural world and to guides is not always an easy course in life. If we let go of our ego, or should I say, if we let our ego get in the way, and the Spirit has a way of reining us back in and making sure that we understand it's not about us, it's about the energy that's flowing through us and the healing work that you're doing. It's all about connection and community. That's pretty much why when I'm asked, are you a shaman? I usually reply that I do shamanic healing. I am an animal communicator. I'm a writer. I'm a storyteller. I'm a psychic medium and a radio host of books, yarns, and tales. But shamanic healing is one of my great loves. And it's because of that connection to the natural world that I'm here to tell you a bit more about what shamanism is about. So a shaman is a man or a woman who uses the ability to see with a strong eye or with the heart, to travel into hidden realms. The shaman interacts directly with helping spirits to address the spiritual aspects of illness and to perform soul retrievals, retrieve lost power, as well as remove spiritual blockages. The shaman also divines information for a community. Shamans have and still act as healers, doctors, priests and priestesses, psychotherapists, mystics, and storytellers. Shamanism teaches us that everything that exists is alive and has a spirit. Shamans speak of a web of life that connects all life, and that spirit that lives in all things. Everything on earth is interconnected. And any belief that we are separate from other forms of life, including the earth, the stars, the wind, is purely an illusion. And it is the shaman's role in the community to keep harmony and balance between humankind and the forces of nature. That doesn't mean everything's always fine and dandy. There are some things that take their life cycle, and there's some things that are just meant to happen the way they happen. And we don't always know why or when, but they're all about learning and growing. I visited Spirit Hollow in North Bennington, Vermont here. It's one of only many centers around the world that furthers the studies and the traditions of shamanism. I had Chris, my cameraman, come with me. We went on a work day, a gathering at Spirit Hollow, if you will, where the group came into the yurt for us and they sat in a circle to be filmed. Robert Patton, who is a teacher at Spirit Hollow, starts off with smudging each of the participants, and then the opening of the circle he calls in the four directions: Father Sky, Mother Earth, and the great void that lives within.
So what we've just done is set the sacred space by smudging to cleanse our own energy. And then by calling in the 7 directions, we call the east, south, west, north, above and below, and the inner self. And it's not so much calling in anything as much as evoking the energies that are within you. So that's what all the smoke and rattling is about.
I'm going to take a step back and just kind of, one of the things that we do once we are in circle is that we do say our names. So I want it to be part of the circle and part of what we're talking about today. So I'm Leslie Nace.
I'm Robert.
I'm Tracy Forrest.
And we are here in North Bennington in a place called Spirit Hollow, and it is the Center for Shamanism. And we were talking earlier about like what our, Tracy is a director, and Robert and I are both board members here. It is a nonprofit organization. And we were thinking of what our, like our mission statement or our motto is.
To transform consciousness. And that's on the small level and on the larger level. So that means that even if children are coming here to camps, we're asking them to come to their fullest as a soul and to be seen, to be held, and to explore who they are in nature and in community and with each other. So we're asking people to go into their and our authentic selves, because we have so many facades that we present to the world, or so many labels and roles and masks that we need to wear, that when we come together in a sacred space in nature with the power of a place that's charged with the energy of many people doing a lot of work on that land, then we have a container for people to really shift. And it happens with the youngest kids up to the oldest adults. And it really, I think when you get people in nature, in circle, and they can speak from their heart and listen from their heart and not be worried if it's going to sound weird or how's it going to look, that's when shifting happens. And so transformation can be just changing the way you're looking at your life to be more life-sustaining, or transformation can be, I'm going to take a new direction in my life, or it could be major, it could be a big life change. So that's kind of what we're
this
about.
is the essence of shamanism.
Yes, Michael Harner, the world's leading authority on shamanism, who I trained with, says that the shaman is somebody who journeys into the other realms, which we know exist because of quantum physics now. Shamans 40,000 years ago did not need to know that there were quantum reasons why there were parallel universes. They just felt it. And Michael Harner says that shaman journeys into those other realities to bring back help, healing, to, it's a service thing to help the community. But he also says the other criteria of a shaman is one who performs miracles. And to me, that's the shifting of the consciousness, so that we're creating, and a miracle can be as small as seeing a billboard that gives you information just when you need it at that particular crisis moment in your life, or that a book falls off the shelf. Or it can be a big miracle, like something really radically shifts. But to me, it's shifting so that you might be going down one path that's not life-affirming, and then it shifts to another. Or it could be that all of a sudden you're healed from a disease that was really, really life-threatening. So miracles can come in small form or large form, but we all have the ability, if we can visualize, we can do shamanic work. If we can dream, we can journey. If we can journey, we have a tool available to us that wasn't available to us before, which is we can open the door, and we can close it and open it at will. But we have the ability to tap into a deep source of natural power on the earth and the helping, loving, guiding spirits and energies that are all around us.
That's
So-
so
I
good.
mean, I think a lot of what I've seen is people stepping into spiritual authority over their own lives. Okay, and through that, having these amazing healing shifts in their lives where, it wasn't just that I had this pain in my neck. It's that I had a pain in my neck that I need to get rid of.
Yeah.
It wasn't so much that I was depressed as I really didn't understand my own energies, and I was allowing them to dissipate in ways that were just not helpful to me. And by tapping into the power of the earth, the power of your spirit guides, your power animals, and the power of the circle, the community,
Exactly.
you're able to see your own uniqueness and what a wondrous being you are in this world. And it really shifts how people walk through life from that point on. Sometimes the change can be dramatic and can be painful for a time. But you always know that you can move through it. You're going to get beyond this point. And this tearing away of old paradigms, is really kind of the thing that I see a lot when people begin to journey, begin to make the connections to their own power, and begin to grow into that.
Tell us a little bit about the training that is held here for shamanism, for Seeing with the Heart.
It's a course we've been doing here for 14 years, originally with my ex-husband, who has now moved on, but Robert was in our first class and is now my co-teacher. We teach together. And Seeing with the Heart is a class that meets one Saturday a month from October through May. And so the same group of people gathers together in this yurt in a circle, and we begin at the beginning, and we talk about the history, cross-cultural history of shamanism, because it was practiced on every inhabited continent. So all of us can trace our birthright back to ancestors who did these techniques, and they're still relevant for the complications of today's world. So we start at the beginning and teach people how to do the journey. We use a drum or a rattle. We use monotonous drumming to alter the consciousness and take people from a waking brain state of an or a beta state into an alpha state, which is a deeper state, and that's a relaxed brain state. So that's what we do, the journeying with the drum. And we teach people how to journey to meet help and helpers, and we then begin to teach them working on themselves. How can we transform blockages in ourselves that might be holding us back from actually putting forth our work in the world? We reestablish connections to our own power, to the land, because as shamans have known for thousands of years, our source of power comes from the place that we're living on or the place that we're working on, as well as those outside of time bodhisattva-like beings who also want to help us. So those two sources of power. So we work with that. We teach people to journey, to work on their own life purpose, why they're here, what their soul work is, because a lot of people aren't doing their soul work and know it. We also release things, and then we begin to teach people how to use these healing techniques, which are ancient in this world, to help people to feel more whole, to help people to claim their power, to help people to help others move on at the moment of death. There's all kinds of these techniques that we teach. So the first year is we're doing healing work, we're doing personal work, and then we move into a second and a third year of study if people want to continue, where we deepen that work. And I really strongly feel like in this world where we have such a disconnect from nature, we can see the results of that everywhere with climate change. We need a shaman in every town, on every corner, because we need people who can navigate the new world that we're going into, because the weather's not the same, the climate's not the same. Well, the shamans know how to reestablish the harmony in a community between humans and nature. And clearly we have lost that harmony. We have lost the balance of humans and nature. And so I feel very strongly about helping kids to learn these techniques as well as adults, because it's going to be a weirder and weirder world as we move forth in this century. And so to give people the tools so they can connect, talk to the spirits of nature, understand what the plants can offer us, understand the migrations of the animals and how they're changing, and how do we grow food in a new climate. Shamans of old always went to the natural world and asked the natural world. They asked the plants, how do you think all those rainforest medicines came to be?
That's right.
The plants told the shamans, this is what we're for. And in our culture, we don't talk to plants. We don't even think that anything has a soul except for humans and maybe our pets. But beyond that, we feel pretty disconnected from the spiritual power of the natural world. And so to me, this class and other work that we do, all of us, is about giving people back that spiritual authority, but also that link to the natural world, so we can serve our communities. Because the role of the shaman is as a public servant, not for the ego, not to feel better about ourselves or to puff ourselves up and say, look at this healing I did, aren't I powerful? It's about service and giving, and then of course gifts are given to you because you're in that place of giving. But it's about serving and helping. And I feel like that's what we're going to need more and more of as we go forth into this uncharted territory on the planet. Go back to the ancient techniques and then combine them with the technologies we have now for something really beautiful.
You know, all three of us practice what we learned so many years ago, and that's the basis.
So many lifetimes ago, maybe?
Lifetimes ago, yes. But that's the basis of our core beliefs in shamanism. And that's what we bring forth in our everyday lives. It's not just that one weekend in that month.
Right.
It is tools of learning that you cross every aspect of your life in which you bring. And even though people are drawn to come to the course and to learn more, whatever they take away is perfect for them.
Yeah.
And for their life and where they're at.
I mean, so many times you find yourself, using a new attitude in what you're doing, kind of thing. Whereas something was so much of a stress in your life, it just doesn't matter that much anymore, because you're seeing a bigger picture. You're seeing how it's all connected to the world at large, and what I'm doing, how I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, the kind of energy that I'm putting out is having an effect on each of you and others. It kind of ripples out like a pebble in a pool.
Right.
These ripples go out from us. So if my energy, if I've learned to use my energy in a positive way, even if I'm only using it for myself in that positive way at the moment, I've changed the environment around me, okay, and lifted, I think, the vibration that's going out to everybody around me, and that, again, just ripples out from there. So when you get a circle of people together doing that, and looking at what is an issue in the world that needs healing right now, can I put my energy toward that? Can I work toward that? And knowing that, hey, I'm working in a group, and it's not alone, so it's just that much more powerful. I think you can find those changes, the miracles that you're talking about are not so much, the big things, oh my God, they can walk across the water, okay, as much as, oh, this community, which didn't seem to even know each other existed, all of a sudden came together to help each other. Because one person vibration was raised enough to start that process. Okay, and then you've got this whole community that's working together for a common cause, understanding that they're all related, that everybody's affected by whatever the challenges that they've met. You know, I mean, you see more and more of that in the world, and I know that there's a lot of tragedy in the world right now, but I find myself more and more watching for those little things. You know, the classic for me is the woman in Haiti who had been underground for days and comes out singing.
Right.
Because she knows that her community's cared about her, that those energies were there, those positive spiritual energies were there that kept her going. And I think we can achieve that here. I think that, you know, you get to a point where people kind of look at you strange when you start talking about shamanism. But, you know, when they really start to see what it is that you're doing and realizing that, you know, it's not all, you know, running around with my rattle and feathers, although sometimes I threaten to pull them out. You know,
Especially at work.
Especially at work, you know. But it's more about how do I step back from a situation, call on the guides that I have, that I've learned to work with. How do I reach inside myself and come at this a different way so that there's less stress, so that there's less tension, so that there's more harmony, there's more peace. You know, and I think those are the real healing things in the world at this time, is, you know, finding that place of commonality and understanding that you basically want the same things that I want in my life, and if we're working together toward that, whether it's energetically or physically, we'll get there sooner rather than later.
And I think coming to a circle for people who feel this stuff and know this stuff but have no one to talk to about it, and they feel like the weird one in their life,
Right.
or the one that they couldn't use this language anywhere else. When they can come together in this circle or any circle like this, that's connecting in a heart way, that they feel that, I think one of the best things about seeing with the heart is that returning to the same circle over and over, to sit in community, to use common language, to help each other out. That gives people such a sense of connectedness that that's what they talk about a lot.
Yeah.
That they feel they can reach out, they can call somebody, they can ask somebody to do work for them long distance, or they can come together and work together on a tragedy in the world with collective energy.
And over the
or
years,
whatever.
we've done that. We've done that on many different levels. You know, the call has gone out for a circle. We've come and we've worked with people who are dying. We've worked with people who have physical ailments within their body, and we've used a circle of people to help with that. We've helped with spirits that needed help passing over. When you talked about Hades, and I think that was one time we had, because many who got caught, that energy that got caught on Earth plane needed help passing over. And we've done the healing of the earth on little levels, but just as you said, it's that pebble, it's that web, because once you leave that energy in that circle, you go out into that world and you bring that essence with you.
Anytime you gather in a circle, like, and I think I need to go in a minute because I see
Yeah.
some people wandering around, but just to come together in community and how much you can get done, just like today we're having a work party. And it's because people want to come back and give something back to a place that's given something to them. And then if they do that in their life, and they give back, and somebody else comes and helps them, and then that ripple effect becomes more and more profound. And I say to students here and at the colleges I teach at, we think that we're one little person and we can't change anything. And so we might as well just eat another burger and go back onto the computer and watch endless TV, because there's nothing I can do to shift the problems in the world. And I think that's absolutely backwards, because I feel like when we shift ourselves, we have made a huge contribution to the whole. In fact, the Buddhists say when one person's consciousness shifts, the whole field shifts. The studies that were done in the Middle East, where they had pretty famous studies, I believe, back in the 70s and 80s, where they had people meditating in war-torn areas, not meditating on peace, just sitting in a group and meditating. And they tracked over a long period of time the incidence of violence during the times they were meditating. The days they were meditating, the violence almost ceased. And when they began to not meditate, it rose again. So we might think that, you know, working on myself is narcissistic or something, but working on ourselves and then serving from that place is immense, and it can have a huge ripple effect and impact on the whole world, you know.
And on that, thank you both very much for sitting here with me.
Love you.
And love you too. And talking about shamanism. Thanks.
Oh, thank you.
Shamanism. It's based on the teachings of the earth, of direct communication with nature. The shaman puts the soul back into the world and helps create a world that talks back to us, one in which we hear the trees, rivers, mountains, and clouds speak to us. This medicine is a link to the ancient, ancestral knowledge, bringing balance back to the earth and back to where our own individual souls reside. Shamanism is an ancient spiritual practice that encompasses an immense body of knowledge passed down through the ages, grandfather to son, to grandson, grandmother to daughter to granddaughter, on every continent of the world. The term shaman refers to medicine man or woman, who are the healers, teachers, and sages. These are the healers that discovered what plants to use and taught others. It is thought that fire was the first shaman who taught mankind. Soul retrieval. All of us suffer from traumatic experiences or events in our life. Times when a piece of our soul just kind of breaks off and can't handle it. It could be a car accident. It could be emotional or physical abuse. Or it could be just something that frightened us. Whatever it is that happened, and whenever it happened, in whatever age or stage you were at, that piece of your soul, it gets stuck in that non-ordinary reality, and it stays there. It's no longer connected to you and to your body, so it doesn't contribute to your human experience. What a shaman will do is journey with their spirit guides to those places where soul pieces are stuck, and they'll bring them back and blow them into your body, allowing you to feel like you have more of you within inside yourself. You can deal with life easier and stronger when you have more of who you are. This is not something that just takes place in a snap. You may not always feel the effects right after the healing is done. You'll feel better, sure, and you'll celebrate at having those pieces back into your body. But healing sometimes takes a while. It could take days or weeks or even longer, or another trip. But knowing that you are more of who you were meant to be upon this earth is empowering. And that's certainly something a soul retrieval does for all of us. The next one is illness extraction. Now, often illness has a spiritual component to it, as well as a physical one. Often a illness will come in our energy field first and kind of surround us before it enters our physical body. When people or animals are vulnerable and disempowered, it's possible for entities that don't belong to us to enter our body. And these misplaced entities can cause persistent sickness, soreness, and other undesirable things. Now, when I use that word entities, sometimes what an extraction can look as small as a pea and maybe as big as a sword. Often that thing about being stabbed in the back can be a common extraction that people go through. Again, shamans work with the helping spirits to extract these misplaced entities and to deliver them to a neutral place where they can contribute to the good of all things. We always want to do no harm. So you surround that which doesn't resonate with your body, that you remove, and send it to a place where it will resonate, where it will change its energy for the good of all. This process of extraction is a common healing activity in the shamanic work. After an extraction, we always fill that space with positive healing energy in some way. Many times, I use colors. Green is the heart chakra color, as I'm wearing today. Green is a very healing heart feeling, and it can send that vibration of healing throughout. But there are crystals and vibrations using sound tuning forks that will send sound through your body as well, which help raise your vibration and change your vibration. And that's a lot about what the work is that we're doing when we're shamans, is you're changing what is there, but changing it only for the good, for your highest and best. In my work, I see a lot of animals. And for me, the most of the work that I do is by phone. Well, occasionally I take trips to clients' home because there's also land spirits that I deal with as well. The plants, even though these are fake here in the studio, they have a lot to say on your land and add to your well-being. The animal work that I do has a lot to do with their behaviors or their health and well-being. Sometimes it's abuse issues, and sometimes it's just helping them connect to the owners and who they're at. I never know what my guides are going to direct me to do or say, because I'm a channel and it just works through me. But I'm open to all of it. As shamans are, that's part of their job. We receive guidance and we pass that guidance on to others. You can get recommendations for a person or an animal. You know, it might be that you need to see a physician or a chiropractor or an acupuncturist or change your lifestyle. Never know. As a psychic medium, I'm also called upon to do psychopomp work. And psychopomp is work that has to do with helping deceased passed over to the other side. And many times I'm called, especially in the case of animals, to see if that animal safely made it to the other side. We love our animals, and we love the people that surround us. And we always want to know that we did the best thing for them in their lives at the time that they needed us the most. And as a shamanic practitioner, I'm there to help bridge that gap, to help you understand what happens sometimes and why it happened, or at least to give an idea. So each person is different as a healer, and each healing work is different. I always try to tell people that they need to find someone to work with that resonates with them. What strikes true to you when you hear someone speak about their work? When you hear them touch you? And I know you're just kind of going, what? She said here? Yeah. When somebody touches us, we not only feel that vibration, but we hear kind of a song within our heart as well. As each person is different, so is each shamanic healer. There are many beliefs and traditions. Many of them have that core belief and work from the same modalities. Some of them have their own core beliefs and things that they've learned along the way. In looking to work with someone, make sure that they vibrate, that they resonate with you, that what they're saying rings true for what you feel is right for you. To help you make more of an informed decision about working with a healer, we've included a list of books and websites. This has just been a brief overview on shamanic healing, and I hope that it brings something to you that you didn't know before. Thanks for listening.